Another day, another sunrise. For lots of landscape photographers, it's frustrating right now. Seeing the beautiful colours of the sunrise, the purples, magentas and pinks. How we wish we could be at our favourite locations right now. We can still, however, enjoy what the morning's magic show has to offer. Hi everyone and welcome to this week's vlog. Now, for a lot of landscape photographers, the sight of a colourful sky in the sunrise and sunset attracts a lot of you, and it's quite understandable. It's quite a magical show indeed. But for me, the better image comes from when you turn the camera around to see how the light is falling on the landscape. Colourful skies are good and it works fine. Too often a silhouette is the only option though. It often takes away the composition of an image. It brings too much attention. I much prefer the less contrasty skies and more focus on the actual composition itself. I'll show you these two images. First of all, well, this is a scene I've become quite familiar with. It's quickly becoming one of my favourites on my regular daily walk. So the first image here is a nice cluster of trees, some nice weaving lines produced from some agricultural machine through sowing a field. And in its own way, it's a good image. Nice moody skies, no direct sunlight, but it still works. I'll show you this image, and again, good structure, but look what difference the light brings. It just introduces some new elements. I mean, some nice shadows being casted, and also the leading lines become more prominent through the shadows, albeit the crops have probably grown slightly more. Both good images in their own right, but a lot of difference it can make just by a bit of light. So anyway, this week, what I've been up to, you know, it's quite difficult in a way for vloggers, myself included, to come up with some new content during these testing times. You've probably seen a lot of content about macro photography, which is good. Also editing skills, or back edit your old images, things like that. For me, you usually find me on location in the Yorkshire Dales or the Lake District, and it's just a question of you following me and hoping what I do from that is give you some inspiration. So I'm trying to come up with some new content every week during lockdown, which does remind me that not too long ago I did mention this. Regards to other content, I may even do some critiquing of your images, maybe from inside my man cave. I think of something. I know what I will be doing. I'll be doing quite a lot of gardening, because I do enjoy a bit of gardening, you know. So I might have throw some tips in regards to gardening, how to look after your perennials, or the best technique to prune your roses. Well, I've just said that. I mean, come on, as if I do that. afternoon and welcome to another episode of Caring for Your Roses and Perennials. How many of you want to learn about the best technique to prune your roses? No. Anyway, I suppose it was inevitable that I had to go into the garden at some point. So you join me in my back garden. This is the, let's say, the latter part, the second section of my back garden, which I'm currently attending to, part of my bigger project. The big camera is out, as you can see. Couldn't resist because there's a nice scene looking over my neighbour's fence. I'm just trying to get the last of the light. I've zoomed in. What am I on now? 135mm, 140mm, f11. Basically, a blossom tree in the background, but in the slight foreground, there's some lopped off trees, for better words. I just love the angles it's creating. Now, I did try and capture some close-up shots during last week. I got a few in the garden, and this is what they look like. Well, there's just a couple from my garden which we'll get onto very shortly. I just want to show you this image, another fine example of what the light can bring. Again, same cluster of trees but from a different angle. I also incorporated the path as a leading line, but just look at the light there. And all I've done here is just used a radial filter just to highlight the point of interest. Moving on to a more of a close-up shot. This is again from my walk. All these images, by the way, are taken from the Canon M50 handheld, all at around 2.8 aperture. And I just love how the light falls and the leaves here backlit. This as well, very close up. Some nice dew on the morning grass. The light is coming in from the right hand side, early morning light, casting some nice colour on the scene as well. There's some nice patterns again, some nice light falling on the scene. These aren't the sharpest of images, I've noticed, by the way, but you still get the effect that I'm trying to achieve. And finally, a couple of images taken from my back garden. This is the final flowering of the season. You see there's a bit of dying petals on the upper right hand side, but again, I just love how the light falls on the scene, and similar as well, just a different composition. To be honest, I do need a dedicated macro lens, and you can get them for the M50, so hopefully that will be my next purchase. Right, are we ready for this? The problem I've got at the moment is because there's no clouds in the background, so the sky is burning out basically, but it doesn't really bother me because you can soon still get a bit of the sidelight on the trees and the most important feature, which is the nice formation. So here it is. Right, so it's Thursday night, it's approaching 8 o'clock. Just one thing to do before I say good night. Just to mention before I go, I am part of a Pubcast where 5 other vloggers stroke landscape photographers get together and basically present you with a virtual chit chat, as it were. Me and 5 other middle-aged gentlemen just waffle away, but it's good banter. And I'll give you a link to the latest one. We'll check it out. Right, okay, until next week, look after yourself. Keep smiling and make sure those around you keep smiling too. Bye bye for now.